The ongoing Gaza genocide has seen Irish people speak vociferously against the Israeli atrocities. Irish music band Kneecap and best-selling author Sally Rooney have become the symbol of Irish opposition to the Israel's genocidal campaign in Gaza. Both Kneecap and Rooney and their public stand have also come to embarrass the BBC, which has faced routine condemnation for its perceived support for Israel during the ongoing genocide in Gaza. I'll come to Rooney in a bit, but let's discuss Kneecap first. Kneecap rapper Liam Ohana, who performs under the stage name Mochara, appeared in a London court today in a criminal case filed by the UK authorities. The rapper is accused of displaying a flag in support of Hezbollah last year. Mochara denies the allegation and says the case is politically motivated and designed to silence him so that he doesn't expose Israel and its Western backers in the ongoing genocide of Palestinians in Gaza and the occupied West Bank. His defense team told the judge that the case against him should be thrown out as it lacks merit. Chief Magistrate Paul Goldspring said that he would rule on 26th of September, which is next month, whether he has the jurisdiction to try this case. Meanwhile, hundreds of people gathered outside London's Westminster Magistrates Court to express their solidarity with the Irish rapper. Even a BBC reporter admitted that she hadn't seen anything quite like this.
I mean, I have never seen anything quite like it, Anita. There are hundreds of people still outside Westminster Magistrates Court. And of course, this court is used for lots of high-profile cases. But I've just never seen the number of people for. In fact, they had to close the road, one of the main roads outside the court in London earlier on today because of the sheer number of people. There were cheers as Liam O'Gohany went into court alongside his band members. During the court hearing, my colleagues tell me that there was music, there was drumming, people have had flags, people have had banners.
Mochara used the opportunity to raise his voice in support of the victims of Israeli genocide in Gaza. And much to the discomfort of the BBC, Mochara's criticism of Israel was broadcast live on the corporation's flagship news channel. Wonder how many BBC executives would have gone into shock after witnessing this event.
I'll just say a few words here quickly. Thank you everybody for coming up. We appreciate it. Obviously it's great to see the support out here. We know this story is more than just about me. It's more than Kneecap. This is a story about Palestine and us as a distraction from the real story. We know unfortunately this story will end up in the media today while Israel commits genocide at the same time. So everybody continue to speak about Palestine. Free Palestine. Thank you all for coming.
But Kneecap isn't the only Irish celebrity group giving grief to the UK government and its media outlet, the BBC. Award-winning and best-selling Irish author Sally Rooney has caused plenty of discomfort in the British establishment and the BBC by announcing her support for Palestine action. She wrote a hard-hitting piece in the Irish Times expressing her support for Palestine action, which was declared a terrorist organization by the current Labour government of the UK. Many have termed the decision a desperate attempt to appease the Israeli lobby in the country. Anyway, Rooney wrote a passionate piece where she defended her decision to support Palestine action. She wrote, and I quote, "While protesters are labelled terrorists in the UK, Palestinian civilians are of course labelled terrorists by Israeli forces. But where UK protesters face trumped-up charges and prison sentences, Palestinians face violent death." End quote. She then went on to write this, and I quote, "In this context, I feel obliged to state once more that like the hundreds of protesters arrested last weekend, I too support Palestine action. If this makes me a supporter of terror under UK law, so be it." End quote. She didn't stop here. She has said that she will use the royalty earned from her BBC show Normal People, which was based on the adaptation of a best-selling novel, to support Palestine action. She wrote, and I quote, "In recent years, the UK's state broadcaster has also televised 2 fine adaptations of my novels and therefore regularly pays me residual fees. I want to be clear that I intend to use these proceeds of my work as well as my public platform generally, to go on supporting Palestine action and direct action against genocide in whatever way I can. If the British state considers this terrorism, then perhaps it should investigate the shady organizations that continue to promote my work and fund my activities, such as W.H. Smith and the BBC. End quote. No wonder the powerful Israeli lobby groups in the UK have begun exerting pressure on the BBC to cut ties with Rooney by removing shows from iPlayer. Given the recent history of the BBC surrendering its freedom to Israel, many believe that the publicly funded British broadcaster may not hesitate to follow the orders from Tel Aviv via the Israeli lobby in the UK. The British police have arrested hundreds of protesters under terrorism charges in recent days. Some of those arrested also include people with disability and elderly in their 80s and 90s. Rooney has been a fierce critic of the Israel's genocidal campaign in Gaza. Who wouldn't be? Only genocidal maniac, morally bankrupt and depraved people would not oppose this genocide. This is what she said about the Gaza Holocaust committed by Israeli terrorists last year.
Museums, libraries, schools and mosques, as well as arts venues and cultural centres much like this one, have been irretrievably destroyed. And that is not even to speak of over 40,000 people confirmed dead, each one a precious and irreplaceable life, each one loved and mourned. It is difficult to avoid the conclusion that we are witnessing an unfolding genocide. The violent death of any civilian in Israel, in Lebanon, in Palestine, or anywhere is a terrible tragedy and an outrage. And the roots of this particular tragedy are in the illegal Israeli occupation of Palestine and the apartheid system under which Palestinians are forced to live. As we are lucky enough to be here tonight in London, in these beautiful surroundings, for what I hope will be an evening of celebration and community, I want to make clear that we are also here in solidarity with the people of Palestine. And I want to urge you all, just as I also urge myself, not to turn away, not to give in to despair or fatigue, to keep protesting, to keep speaking out, to keep demanding an end to this horrifying war. It is the least that we can do. Thank you. Thank you.
Israel has continued to massacre Palestinians, particularly children and babies, with impunity amidst a growing demand for a military intervention by the global fraternity in Gaza. The role played by the Western countries, including the UK and their control institutions, including sporting bodies, in helping Israel carry out the massacre of unarmed and defenseless Palestinian people is extraordinary. This shows just how depraved, sadist and racist politicians from the Western countries and their controlled institutions can be. Their conscience is shaken only when the victims are white Europeans. This is the reason why groups like Kneecap and celebrities such as Sally Rooney are being celebrated globally for their stance on Palestine. Experts are unanimous in their verdict that the current Labour government has signed their own political death warrant by capitulating to the Israeli lobby. That's it for me. Thank you very much for your support of this platform and our journalism on buymeacoffee.com and Patreon. If you too think that our journalism is worth supporting, then you too should consider becoming part of it. Details are there in the description of this video. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.